I'm in so much pain. Is it meant to feel like this?
We're runners for life, and as runners for life, we're always looking for things that we can do to improve both of those things, running and life. So a while ago, when Andrew HUberman, a neuroscientist and professor at Stanford and host of the podcast The Huberman Lab, first started to get big, in part due to his morning routine, I dismissed it, as you do, as a fad and not for me. Sounded way too complicated, but as time progressed and we started trialling bits of the routine, annoyingly, it all worked amazingly for our life and our running. Delayed caffeine intake, movement in the morning, ice baths, and all of it is rooted in science. So it was time to try the whole morning routine, share the steps with you and the science, and then decide if it's going to help our running, life, or not. And I'd say step one is the easiest.
And the first thing is, you got to wake up. But you got to wake up in the right way. So the first thing you need to know is that if you go to bed at the same time every night and you wake up every morning at the same time, that's really good for your circadian rhythms, it's really good for mood regulation, and it's really good in general. So we're 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. people. So here's what happens when you wake up using an alarm. You flood your body with cortisol, which is a stress hormone but needed to get yourself up. If you press snooze, you go back to sleep, you flood your body again with cortisol. And who wants to flood their body multiple times with stress, right? And you've also got to think about the message you send to yourself if you press the snooze button, that you're not worth getting up the first time. Much better that you try this trick. Try putting your alarm somewhere far enough from your bed that you'd have to get out of bed to turn the alarm off. Then you're going. And then all you got to do is get on with your day. And step 2 of the protocol is light exposure in the morning. So we've come out the front of the house to get a nice dollop of vitamin, whatever, which vitamin is it?
D.
Yeah.
Now, the science to the second step is pretty cool because it's been found that the antidepressant effect of light exposure is much more pronounced in the morning. But even better than that, exposure to light regulates your circadian rhythm, which is kind of your internal clock, and weirdly, it doesn't run exactly to 24 hours. So light exposure early in the morning resets it to make sure that your sleep is regular. And the light activates special cells in the body to stop making melatonin, which is the hormone that makes you feel sleepy. And then it helps the body to know when to start producing it again. And if you live in a country that's dark in the mornings, then the good news is that sun lamps and light lamps can do the job too.
I just make it clear as well that you don't have to look directly into the sun like Mary was just trying.
No, I can barely open my eyes, it's so bright.
Mary has light blue eyes, so actually they're very much more sensitive than my brown eyes to light in general, so you find it a struggle to open your eyes at all, right?
Yeah.
And this is step 3 of the process, which is hydrating with, in this case, we've got lemon juice because there's evidence about alkalizing the drink, the first drink of the day. What does it do, Mary?
It reduces inflammation and blood pressure and the risk of cardiovascular disease.
The other major benefit to hydrating early is the way the kidneys work, and that is they're set up to work at their most efficient for the first 10 hours of the day, and then the body's circadian rhythm regulates cells in the kidney and gut to kind of wind down the work so that you don't need to get up in the night and go for a wee. That's evolution at its finest. So hydrate early could even just be the main takeaway.
And step 4, and I feel like these 3 steps can be bundled in together, is 10 minutes of meditation. And we're going to use the app Headspace to do it, but there is Calm. There's a load of meditation apps.
Or you can just clear your mind.
Or you can just sit there and clear your mind.
Now, meditation's always been a foreign concept to me, and not because I don't buy into it. I do, the science is clear, but my mind just never shuts off. So rather than follow an app, like I said, we just tried in this instance to calm our minds and acknowledge thoughts, then let them go. And the evidence again is so clear that just 10 minutes of meditation a day is proven to cause long-term personality trait changes for the positive and change your neuroplasticity. It changes your default mood. It enhances your ability to focus, it reduces anxiety and depression, and it increases overall happiness. But would I honestly have 10 minutes per morning for this? I have an idea.
Hold it up, Mary. What is the thing we do the least of it's preparation, it's mobility work, it's flexibility work, so we're going to try and factor that in now. We've kind of changed the protocol a little bit here because Andrew HUberman recommends stretching, but we don't want to do static stretching before we go for a run because actually there's evidence to show that that's not a great thing to do. So we turned it into dynamic, lots of band work, lots of range of movement work, just getting our body ready to actually do the exercise that we're about to do, just get it a little bit more supple, a little bit more loose, increase the range of motion.
So our plan is this. On days when we exercise, like running, we're going to do a good dynamic stretch routine as our stretching. And then on the days where we're not running in the morning, we'll do a mobility routine like you saw us do last week with Vlad Excel. Get the body moving, basically. I think the important takeaway from this part of the routine is that in the mornings it's great to have some kind of movement included.
That one is definitely something we need to factor into our lives, right?
Yes.
Yes. So the next step, obviously, there has to be exercise factored in somewhere, and I'm sure you don't need me to talk to you about the benefits of exercise, but I'm gonna do it.
So this is my master plan of sorts, because I don't think I have the time in my morning for meditation. I'm gonna use my run to do it. We don't listen to music or podcasts on the run, so it's a good opportunity to get into the zone and clear the mind. And you don't really need me to go into detail about just how beneficial exercise is for your life, right? If you watch this channel, you're gonna know I bang on about it all of the time anyway. So we'll leave it at that. It's just bloody good. And so on to the next bit, which is exciting. And by the way, it's usually step 8, but we made it step 7.
Right, step 8 is probably the bit I most fear, but I also most love, and that is cold water immersion. And the benefits are so numerous, just might not feel like that when you're in. Okay, wish me luck. That ice is really not melting today. It's not melting. That is so cold. Okay. Oh my goodness, that is so much colder than we've ever had. Oh.
Yeah, right.
No way I'm lasting 10 in here. Okay, don't think. Whoa, it's so much colder. It's so much colder. Oh, this does not make me look very manly on YouTube. I can't handle this. I wish I could tell you the benefits to this, but my brain won't work. I might have to voice over or get Mary to do it when she's in, or I'll do it when Mary's in. I think I can do one point when I'm in here, and that is the thing I'm looking forward to the most is just the huge dopamine release when you get out that lasts for such a significantly long time, like increased focus, just feel good for a number of hours after an ice bath. And actually the evidence says you really only need to do 11 minutes split over 3 or 4 times a week, and this is a 10-minute bath. So I should get a damn fine hit of dopamine. 10 minutes. Thank you, alarm. Oh. Ah. My whole body is numb. Ah. All right, Mary's turn. It is significantly colder than we've done before. Off you go.
Oh my
Come on.
goodness.
Would you like? I know you can't think through.
Go,
Oh my God.
go. Don't think.
Oh my God.
Don't think.
This timer, start the
Yeah, I'll do
timer.
it. I'll do
It hasn't started.
Go. Go down, head under. Down, your shoulders are out. Get your shoulder, there you go. Focus.
Oh, I can't see the timer.
Don't need to.
I do.
Okay, now I can actually speak, and Mary's in the ice bath suffering. I can tell you that another real benefit of an ice bath is that it increases focus because it releases epinephrine and norepinephrine, or otherwise known as adrenaline and noradrenaline. So it really ups your level of focus very, very quickly. And it's an intense feeling that Mary's kind of experiencing now.
But of course, on top of the science, this really does help build mental resilience. It's like Tony Robbins says, do I want to get in every day? No,
done.
but I don't give my brain the choice. It's I say, we do.
Oh my God. What are you? Can't even wrap the towel.
Has that dopamine hit yet?
I'm in so much pain. Is it meant to feel like this?
So we've kind of moved steps 7 and 8 around a little bit. So this is what Andrew HUberman does, which is delayed caffeine. What's the time now?
It is...
Hold up, I can tell you. 9:57, and we got up at about 6:30. So we're a good 2.5 hours into the day with delayed caffeine for a very good reason. So I'm going to explain the delayed caffeine as best as I can, as best as I understand it, and that is that when you wake up, you still have a kind of small leftover amount of the hormone that makes you feel sleepy, which I think is called melatonin. And when you drink caffeine early in your day, it puts up an immediate wall to the body sensing that melatonin. So when the caffeine wears off in about 2 hours time or 3 hours time, when you're at work, if you've ever felt that dip in energy at 11 or 12 o'clock where you feel really tired, that's the caffeine wearing off and then the melatonin still being there and you feeling tired. So the reason that you delay the caffeine is you give your body a chance to just burn off the melatonin naturally so you don't feel tired. You do things like the ice bath like we've done, and then you have the caffeine, boom, hit of caffeine, hit of dopamine from the ice bath, hit of serotonin and endorphins from the exercise.
And it stays level.
Yeah, and you feel buzzing all day. And so that is why we're delaying our caffeine intake. And actually, steps 9 and 10 are about writing, and it's daily journaling and daily intention setting. So Andrew HUberman suggests that you journal 5 gratitudes, your plans for the day, fears and resentments, things to watch out for, and things to strive for, which is what I'm about to try to attempt. This is going to be harder because I'm really not good at anything journaling. Never have done it.
Luckily, the evidence is very clear on journaling, and it's really positive. It can improve brain neuroplasticity again, lower anxiety, and improve your sleep just by going through your gratitudes, plans, fears and resentments, things to watch out for, and things to strive for. And as with all of this, when you do it the first time, it does feel clunky and weird, but I'm sure it improves over time. And that's kind of the point, right?
So that took me less than 5 minutes. So actually, I was thinking it was going to take longer, but it is more realistic to fit into my morning than I thought perhaps it would be. And step 10, plans for the day, which I've got here, intention setting. That is potentially one of the most powerful parts of the whole morning routine, because the evidence says if you write down the things that you want to achieve, if you give them a time scale, if you give them a location, then you're 90% more likely to achieve those things that you set out to do. And that, for me, is enough. They're called implementation intentions. We do it with our running and our training. We're now doing it with our life. Right, it's 2 weeks later in fact, and we've had some time to reflect on the morning routine and what we think we will keep and what we would like to maybe move around or even get rid of, but we're gonna go on a run and tell you because it's a lovely evening. So before we go into what we are going to keep in our daily routine, I'm just going to caveat it with the fact that we have pretty busy, stressful jobs. We already wake up before 6 a.m, so in the morning time's at a premium. We can't keep all of this, but there are things that we're definitely going to keep, like waking up without pressing the snooze alarm,
Hydrate early.
light exposure,
Movement.
cold water immersion, delayed caffeine. So what we're going to do about the things that we're not keeping.
So we're not going to set separate time aside for meditation, intention setting and journaling, but we are going to incorporate them into other parts of the morning routine, like the exercise, the ice baths and the movement. We can blend those together.
Yeah, so because we're time crunched in the morning, but we still want to achieve these things in the morning routine, we're just going to blend some of the things together. And we think that's probably a nice compromise, and that way we can achieve everything we want to achieve. I guess ultimately this was never about copying a morning routine bit by bit and trying to cram it into our life. What it was about experiencing a morning routine, finding what works, what doesn't, or things that we want to tweak, and then making it work for us.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's helped you in some way, and you can factor some of these things into your mornings. And if you like this video, you're definitely going to like this one, which was the 6 daily habits that we implemented into our lives that we believe saved our running life. Hope you enjoy. If you did, consider subscribing, but no hard sell. Time to enjoy our drinks.
See ya.